Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan. I am a hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, crystal healer, and pendulum healer. If you're new, consider subscribing, coming along on this journey with us. Right now, I'm just kind of giving the general outline of the things that the things to do to get to that purpose that you have for your life. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about boundaries. Now, if you're not done with your shadow work, please continue. Just as a heads up, you might also have to do more shadow work when you come to this portion of setting the boundaries. I've kind of laid this out because the shadow work is for yourself. And then the self-discovery is how you want to interact with the world. And then I feel like boundaries is something you set once you figure out how you want to interact in the world around you. So that's why we're doing this. Next week, we'll be doing forgiveness and releasing. General rule of thumb for boundaries. You feel some sort of way is usually an indication that you need a boundary. So, whether it be frustration, anger, guilt, shame, some kind of self-restricting, habit or belief that you have, or something that drains your energy, whether that's a person, place, or thing, anything that really disrupts the emotional stability within and like that peace. So, that being said, I would recommend you not explain your boundaries to anybody. From personal experience, I have discovered that people who want an explanation of your boundaries are usually trying to circumvent them, find a way around them. Trying to manipulate or gaslight you into letting them continue to get whatever they're getting from you by you not having that boundary in place, right? Another thing, you can't control anybody. So boundaries are not there to control people. They're there to protect you. Might it require some kind of action on somebody else's part? Yes. But you're not controlling their behavior. You're just putting that wall up to then make sure that it doesn't interfere with your homeostasis, your peace, your however you want to say it, your internal regulation. So, when setting boundaries, you want to take into account what is disturbing your peace. What's upsetting you? What is making you feel that some sort of way, right? Then you want to probably pinpoint who, what, when, where, and why it's disturbing your peace. That'll help you get more clear on the boundary that you need to set. And then before you go and set the boundary, you want to go ahead and we'll figure out how to set or what to set. You want to figure out, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel like you've just shut something down because it's been going on too long? Do you want to feel like you've, established yourself in some sort of way? Or do you want to just completely cut that person off? It's up to you. You got to show up for yourself. Okay. It's about showing up for yourself. Another thing, look at it as, how are you betraying yourself? That might give it a little bit more ease in figuring out how it is affecting you and what you need to state, what you need to say, establish, so that this person, place, thing cannot affect you. Okay. Start practicing coming up with ways to say things. If you're a recovering people pleaser, you might want to say things a little nicer. You might want to do things, but be forewarned that there are people who will try and overstep those boundaries, who will try and push you to that limit. Don't just don't give them a reaction. I've just experienced something that just, I see you. I see what you're trying to do. Like, I'm just not going to give you the time of day to do it. I've just experienced something like that. So I'm trying to regulate, and my phone is wanted a software update this morning and I didn't do it. And so it's stopped the recording like 3 times already. But we're getting through it. Okay. So when it comes to people who do push your boundaries, it's usually because there is a lack within themselves and they need your validation. They need you to help them regulate, or they need you to feel like in their mind you're less than, if that makes sense. They want you to either give up on yourself or in some way give your power away. So when it comes to those kinds of people, if you have to interact with them, do so on a surface level. If you don't, you might consider getting rid of them out of your life, cutting them off. I've done it multiple times to multiple people because, I'm just not vibing with what you're selling and you really don't bring any benefit to me. You're wasting my time, my energy, and I've got more important things to focus on. So, as a rule of thumb, you are allowed to get angry. When it's not productive is when you get angry and you go and you blow up on said person. You're allowed to be mad that they don't respect you. It's kind of a respect thing. Or that they don't believe in you, something along those lines. Okay? You don't owe anybody anything. So don't let people disrespect you or hold you back. Don't let people limit you because they feel limited. So when it comes to setting a boundary, make sure you know what's disturbing your peace and how you want to feel. Identify the people involved, the situation involved. Okay? Then, how do you want to feel? Think of ways to say it, ways to express yourself. And then it's like almost like an affirmation, like make it general enough to where you're not controlling that person, but also make it specific enough to where you're not going to be misread, misheard, where there isn't really a loophole. And then when those situations and those individuals, things come back to you and they want to, for lack of a better phrase, shit all over your boundary, go ahead and, establish what you're going to do then. I don't recommend like pre-planning that because number one, that puts you off in the future and then you're going to have anxiety and feel some sort of way about that. Deal with that when it comes. Okay? I didn't want to because it just seems, I'll just give personal examples because it just seems like something I should do. There was somebody in my life. I thought we were friends, like platonic friends, like nothing was, we were just really good friends. And we were vibing, we were not hanging out because, they live far away or whatnot. And this has actually happened on multiple occasions with multiple different people. And it's the lesson I needed to learn. But these people would act one way to my face, and they would say little sly things and act like, oh, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to. Yes, you are. You're trying to humble me. You're trying to make me feel some sort of way about myself because of what I'm passionate about, because what I'm trying to do with my life. We are not on the same path. And so some of them, I cut them off because they were just coming at me and trying to take, like, you're draining my energy, you're wasting my time. Some of them were straight up lying to my face. Other people thought that I was just going to be loyal and, devoted to them, even though they had no loyalty, no devotion to me, and thought I was an elf on a shelf that they could just come back to whenever they felt like it. And I'm not doing that, right? I'm not going to be worrying about them when they have some sort of agenda that makes them feel better about themselves because they can't self regulate, because they need my attention, my energy. So I just stopped talking to them. Some of them I blocked, some of them I still have to deal with on a regular basis. So I don't go into depth. What is it called? It's not, is it stonewalling? I don't remember the correct term, but it's just like we don't go deep. I don't defend myself. I don't explain myself. I don't try and, be anything else besides that surface level person, to where I can be kind, I can be cordial, I can, be respectful. But as far as talking to you about my feelings, talking to you about what I've got going on, we're not doing that. It's none of your business. And that brings me to the next point. You will be the villain in someone else's story. And everybody who believes that person, let them. Let them stay over where they are. We'll get into the forgiveness and releasing next week, because you can forgive these people and still not give them access to you. Just because I forgave you does not give you the ability to come back in to my life and disrupt what I've got going on. Right? So we're not doing that kind of thing. So, sorry. That's just a general rule of thumb when it comes to setting boundaries. Just because somebody wants to be involved doesn't mean they get to be. Oh, sorry. I choked on my spit. Just because somebody wants to be involved in your life doesn't mean you have to give them that. Just because somebody wants control over your life does not mean you have to give them any. You can keep people at a distance, keep them at arm's length, have those boundaries, and still interact with them on a regular basis. So, if you want more on boundary setting, there's an exercise in my book, Shadow to Light Work, an intentional guide or journey, of healing, self-discovery, and purpose. Oh, smack the camera. But there's what's in it at a glimpse. There's guided meditations, exercises, questionnaires. There's like, it seems thin, but there's a lot in there. And then at the bottom, probably not going to focus again, but asktohypnotherapy.com is my website. If you're interested in scheduling with me, please leave a message. And I shall see you guys next week for that boundary, or not boundaries, forgiveness and releasing. And if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys next week.